Hey everybody, welcome and welcome back to Leanne's Corner. I'm Leanne and today I am back with another review for The Ultimatum, Marry or Move On, Season 1, Episode 2, and this episode is called The Choice. Now in this episode we get to see the couples date a little more. We also get to see the couples mix and mingle amongst one another, and then in the end we get to see the couples make their final decision as to who they are going to spend the next 3 weeks with. So before we get into any of that, I'm gonna need for you guys to go ahead and do me a favor and hit that subscribe button for me. Turn on that post notification bell if you haven't already. Don't forget to be active in those comments. And please share my videos as much as you possibly can, okay? So let's go ahead and get into this ultimatum, okay? Now, before we get into this review, let me just say, Alexis, Hunter, and Nate had me on the floor with their theatrics. Alexis and Hunter could have stayed at home because Hunter had me a little salty with him. Because why even come on here if you were gonna do that? Why even come on here? We're only in episode 2, and here you go, already knowing. You knew before y'all came on this show. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this review once again. So of course the show had to start off with a bang, and that is with our girl Alexis. And Alexis, she's in her confessionals and she's talking about how much she loves Hunter, and Hunter is damn near perfect, but she makes more than Hunter, and she's not trying to be the one that brings home the bacon. Alexis, girl, you can't let a few coins slide, sis. You can't let a few coins slide. But Alexis said, hell nah, bitch. She wants to be the one taken care of. She ain't trying to be the one taking care of everything. She ain't got time for all of that. Alexis is still salty about how Kobe curbed her the other night. So her and Kobe meet up. Alexis confronts him about it, and he's like, look, I'm just not attracted to you, okay? But when he said it, he did kind of hesitate, almost as if he didn't want to hurt her feelings. And Alexis is in the confessionals going off. First of all, I am not unattractive. Alexis, girl, he didn't say that. Second of all, me and Madeline damn near look alike. Alexis, y'all just got blonde hair. Y'all don't look alike. And third of all, that's bullshit. I'm not taking that as an excuse. That's a bullshit ass excuse. And Alexis is telling him, well, damn, I would have preferred for you to basically do exactly what he did last night, which was pull her aside and let her know, look, this isn't gonna work. Like, I'm not interested in you. And he was like, I did that last night. And this is what I mean when I say they are full of theatrics in this episode, because all of a sudden Alexis gets amnesia and she's questioning him like, we did not have that conversation. Like, when did this happen? And he was like, last night. And she's like, no, we didn't. And he was like, you know what? We only got a few days to pick who we're going to spend the next 3 weeks with. I do not have time for this bullshit, okay? So Alexis is like, I'd be damned if I take this L. So she lets him know, you know what? This isn't gonna work. So we're just gonna go our separate ways. And I'm like, Kobe, just say okay. And he did exactly that. Mind you, Madeline and Hunter are just a few feet away on their date, and it looks like they're having a really good time and they're enjoying each other's company. Kobe runs off to the bathroom in tears, and he's saying that going on dates with these different women is starting to make him realize how much he loves Madeline. But I'm like, Kobe, I thought you knew that before you guys came on the show, because you're the one that said that you're ready for marriage. So how are you just not realizing how much you really love Madeline? Like, I thought you already knew that, and that's why you wanted to marry her. But anyway, I think Kobe is lying about the dating different girls is making him realize that he loves Madeline. I think what it is that seeing Madeline on dates, unbothered and enjoying herself, is making him realize how much he loves Madeline. Now let's go ahead and go back outside to Alexis, because Alexis is over there with Madeline and Hunter, and she rudely interrupts their date just to tell Madeline that Kobe's an asshole and that she should consider leaving him. And I'm like, Alexis, why didn't you just take this L and take your ass to your bedroom if you were that salty? Like, there was no need for you to go up to these people and tell them that. Like, girl. Let's go ahead and talk Shanique and Zane plus Nate and April. Now, Shanique and Zane went on a date, and let me just tell you guys, the chemistry was there. It was mainly physical attraction, but their chemistry flowed so naturally to the point where I felt like they were truly being their authentic selves, and I felt like these two just might go home together. Now let's go ahead and get into their conversation, because they had let Shanique know right off the bat that, look, I really do like you, but I am still in love with the person that I came with. And Shanique let him know, like, the feeling is mutual and that I don't want to pursue this if you're going to do me like Randall. Then they get into the talk of the marriage and the kids and what Shanique's expectations of a husband is. She wants a husband who will still consider her as sexy and beautiful years down the line. And she also wants a husband who is active in the kids' life, like going to games, going to recitals, being at the practices, and just being there as a father. She wants her husband to still do like traditional things like taking out the trash and keeping the cars clean. And I feel like that's not bad. And I think that Zay will be that type of guy that'll do it. Now, as far as how long will he hold that up, I don't know. But I think Zay will do that for Shanique. Now, let's go ahead and get into the physical and sexual attraction of it all, because Shanique had to let Zay know, look, I am physically and sexually attracted to you, okay? And sexual attraction is very important to me, because if I'm not sexually attracted to you, I can't even see myself being in a relationship with you, let alone a marriage. And Zay let her know, like, the feeling is mutual, but I am more so attracted to your mind more than anything, and I'm more so in love with your mindset. So I do like that about Zay, but I do think Zay is just good with words. Zay was laying them sexy eyes on Shanique so hard to the point where Shanique had to turn around to see if Randall was close by. And I feel like if Randall was nowhere near, I think Shanique would have probably been in Zay's lap, because Shanique wants Zay and Zay wants Shanique. Like, there's no doubt about that. And Shanique thinks she's slick, because she said that she could definitely see her and Zay having a deep ass conversation and then getting right to it. And the deeper it is, the better she likes it. And me and Zay over here like, the deeper, the better. And she's like, the deeper, the intimacy. And I'm like, bitch, you know damn well that is not what you were talking about. Me and Zay was on the same page. Like, quit playing with us, okay? Ray, baby, you and Zay might be in trouble, because I don't think that you two are going to go home together. I honestly think that either you guys are going to leave single, or you're going to go home with the person that you spent your 3 weeks with. And I am so here for it. So now let's talk Shanique and Nate's date. Nate was very much so stunned by Shanique's beauty, to the point where his eyeballs were glued to Shanique and they were all over her from head to toe. Their chemistry was definitely not on the level that her and Zay's was. And I know that Nate and Zay are two different people, but I feel as though Nate was so nervous. He was very chatty, very touchy. And I don't think that Shanique liked the fact that he was very touchy, because she kind of had to put her hand on top of his to let him know, like, stop touching me. She was very sweet about it. She didn't stop him during his conversation. During their conversation, we learned that they want the same thing, which is marriage and kids, and they want it now. And Nate very much so seemed interested into what Shanique's point of views of raising kids are. And Shanique told him that my kids have to learn a second language and learn how to play an instrument. And Nate is pretty much so of the type of father who's not going to force his kids to be interested in something that they're not interested in. And I honestly think that Nate and Shanique could be a nice fit, but I do think that Shanique pretty much so has her mind already set on Zay. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to April and Nate. Nate seemed a little bit more comfortable with April. The conversation seemed to flow a little bit more better. They both have quite a bit in common. They both want kids and marriage. They want them now. And Nate definitely wants kids now, because he said that his parents are getting older and he wants his parents to play an active role in his kids' lives. And I definitely can understand that. And April lets him know, if I can't have kids myself, I'm definitely am going to adopt, because no matter what, I want kids. I want to be a mom. And I can definitely see April and Nate together, because for one, they both extra as hell. I definitely think that Nate will not let April run over him like Jake lets April run over him. I think that Nate will have a little bit more control and would know how to handle April. So anyway, drop your comments down below and let me know what y'all think about April and Nate. Now let's go ahead and move on to Ray and Jake. Ray and Jake's chemistry is very much so there. During their conversations, they found out that they have a lot more in common than what they thought. They talked about dream jobs, and Jake said that he wants to be a marine biologist, and Ray said that she wants to be in the marketing field. And they talked about the things that they liked and the things that they disliked, like spiders and things. They also talked about marriage and kids. Jake said that if he has a daughter, he'll very much so be protective, and that he'll be the type of father that when she brings home her first boyfriend, he'll be cleaning his gun when she brings him home to intimidate him. Ray, that she doesn't want to be a stay-at-home mom. She wants to actually have a job, and she doesn't want to be at home with the kiddos 24/7. But when she does get home from work, it's full mommy mode. And Jake told her that marriage with her seems very, very easy. Now, I definitely can't wait to see what 3 weeks with these two will be like, because the chemistry is very much so there. Like I said before, they're so open with one another and it flows so naturally, just like Shanique and Zay. So I definitely can't wait to see what 3 weeks with them would look like. So let's go ahead and move on to Colby and Lauren. Colby said that Lauren is his #1 pick, and he is very interested in Lauren. I think he's really attracted to Lauren, because if you think about it, if you put Lauren and Madeline side by side, Lauren is killing Madeline. I don't care what nobody's saying. Lauren is killing Madeline. I like Lauren. That's my girl. That's my girl. Lauren said that Colby makes her feel at ease when they talk about kids versus how it is with Nate, because when they talk about kids, it gets very heated, and she actually considers having kids when she's talking about kids with Colby. Colby asked her what was her favorite childhood memory, and she told him traveling, going on family vacations together, and she would like to incorporate that into her own family tradition if she has kids one day. She would absolutely like to incorporate travel in her kids' life so they can learn about other cultures. And I can definitely relate with Lauren on that, because I would love to travel with my kids, and I am working really, really hard to travel the world with my kids. Even though I'm scared to get on planes and boats and stuff like that, I would still love to travel the world with my kids and see different cultures and learn about different cultures and different people. Like, I am very much so interested in stuff like that. So I can definitely relate, Lauren. Colby and Lauren both said that they are willing to give this their all, and that they want to go back to their partners better than what they came in. And Lauren definitely let Colby know that she doesn't want to be someone's distraction. So I definitely can respect Lauren on that, but I definitely do see Lauren and Colby becoming distracted with one another. But drop y'all comments down below and let me know what y'all think about Lauren and Colby. And we're going to move on to Randall and Madeline nasty asses. Now, Randall and Madeline are definitely attracted to one another. During their date, they talked about nothing but fucking sex the entire time. Now, Randall was very much so interested in Madeline's sex drive, and Madeline told him that she's always the one that has to initiate sex when it comes down to her and Colby. And I found that quite funny, especially with Colby being the one that wants to have children, especially when that's the only way that you can get children. I mean, but he could want to do it the traditional way, which is get married first though. So but Randall is eating up what he's hearing, because Madeline is letting him know there is nothing that I wouldn't do to please you. And that's what she said when Randall had asked her if there's anything that she's limited to doing in the bedroom. So you already know where this is going. And Randall did not only ask could he sit next to Madeline, he went and sat over next to Madeline as he was asking her. So he was like, can I come sit next to you? I feel like I need to come sit next to you. I need to be closer to you. So when they spend their 3 weeks together, we are already going to know where this is going to go. So drop y'all comments down below and let me know what you think about this couple. And we're going to move on to the night before they had to make their big decision, when the couples gather together as a big group and mix and mingle amongst one another. So everybody links up and they play a game of Never Have I Ever. And everybody is intrigued by Colby's big ass, sheriff ass, cowboy ass hat he got on. Madeline is annoyed by it. So I'm assuming that Colby probably pulls this hat out all the time. Then Zay asks Jake, who is your #1 pick? But Jake decides to drink instead. So Ray lets everybody know, like, shit, I'm drunk, so Jake is my #1 pick. And Zay is kind of in the confessionals like, well, they do seem like they have a good connection going. So I got my connection going over here with Shanique, so I ain't really worried about that right now. Shanique outs Zay by telling the whole group that Zay is a little jealous when Ray goes on dates, because when they were on a date together, he was looking at Ray and Jake on their date. What the fuck they laughing at? Like, what's so funny? So then they asked Randall who is his #1 pick, and that bitch didn't hesitate, not even a little bit. He said Madeline his #1 pick. Randall, like, I don't think Randall is into Shanique at all. I think that he's with her because she's beautiful and he's like a pretty boy. He wants to be the dude with the pretty girlfriend, but I do think that Randall's type is Madeline's type. And Shanique's in her confessionals. What the fuck? And I honestly think it's because of who Madeline is why she's shocked. I think that she thought he would have probably went for somebody that looked a little bit more like her. I think that's my personal opinion. Then Alexis asked us, Randall, are you just using finances as an excuse as to why you don't want to get married and why you don't want to have kids? And Randall said, yes. Shanique is like so stunned because she is getting hit right now. And this is what I meant in the last video when I said that we can't be saying that these men are ready for something when they're telling us that they're not ready. We end up getting hurt when we find out how they really feel. So Shanique is in her confessionals and she's crying, saying that she thought bringing Randall here was going to make him realize how much he loved her and wanted to marry her and have kids with her. And it's doing the complete opposite. Shanique is crying while they're all gathered around, and Madeline is trying to comfort her. And I said, Madeline, use a dog-ass bitch. And the reason why I say use a dog-ass bitch, because you out to take this chick man. So how are you gonna sit there and try to comfort her when you steady trying to take this chick man? You want to take Randall home, and there's nothing that you wouldn't do to please Randall.
Hey, you get your fucking hands off me.
So we got Alexis and Hunter, and they're off to the side, and Alexis is not here for swapping. She's like, look, I am not comfortable with my man going off to live with somebody for 3 weeks. Like, bitch, we don't even live together. I'm not even cool with my man going on all these different dates with all these different women. And then we have April and Jake. They're off to the side, and Jake is letting April have it. He's telling her, look, I am not fucking happy with you. I am miserable with you. Everything is what you want. You never consider what I want. Everything is about April. You never let me have a say-so in anything. Whenever I do try to open up to you, you try to beat me being mad. I just sit up there and not say anything and take everything that you give to me because I love you and I've been with you for 2 years. I want to be able to travel the world. I want to be able to enjoy my life before I bring kids into the situation, before I get married. I want to be able to do that first. But you want kids now. You want marriage now. And I understand that you got fertility issues. And I was like, fertility issues? So that's why she was talking about adoption with Nate. But he was like, I get that you got fertility issues, but everything that you want is unrealistic and you want it now. And that's just not what I want now. I found somebody that I have a lot in common with. There's absolutely no red flags when I'm with her. I already know who I want to pick. April is trying to comfort him and he's like, no, get off of me. Listen to what I'm saying. And she's in tears. She's bawling right now. I am so glad that Jake spoke his mind, because you can tell in the first episode that he was holding a lot of what he wanted to say in. And I feel like April is really in trouble. So let's go ahead and move on to the night where the couples come together with the hostess, which is Nick and Vanessa Lachey, to make the final decision as to who they are going to spend the next 3 weeks with. So Nick and Vanessa Lachey give them the whole spiel as to how this works. And they have to choose a person that chooses them. So that person that they pick also has to say yes. So everybody's nerves is on edge and everybody is starting to wonder if they did the right thing by coming onto the show to do this experiment and not knowing if they wanted to proceed with this experiment or not. So let's go ahead and move on to Shanique, because Nick and Vanessa chose Shanique to make her decision first. And she chose Zay, like our mother loving said. How could she not choose Zay? Because the chemistry was there. The chemistry was giving, okay? They had that natural connection, like I said. I cannot wait to see what their 3 weeks is gonna look like. Shanique thought that Zay was going to be a little bit more like Randall coming into this whole ordeal, but he wasn't. He surprised her and showed her his carefree side, his funny side, and he also showed her his serious side. and that really drawed her to Zay. Now with Nate, he really didn't give much besides asking her how she was doing, which was nice to her, and they did share a lot of things in common, but she just felt that her chemistry with Zay was a lot more stronger than what it was with Nate. So Nate was a little taken aback, and he just wasn't understanding, child. So Vanessa looks over at Ray and asks her like, hey, what's going on? I see you over here looking some type of way. And Ray lets her know like it does feel a little weird seeing the person that you came here with going on these dates with these other women, and they're sitting there enjoying themselves and laughing and having a good time, and it's like, what the fuck is so funny? Ray said, bitch, I don't see nothing the fuck funny, okay? But meanwhile, while I'm over here feeling this type of way, I'm really enjoying my company with Jake, and it does make me a little jealous seeing my ex on a date with somebody else. And Nick and Vanessa let them know like it's totally normal for you guys to be feeling this right now, but you have to put your jealousy aside if you really want this to work, or if you really want to see if this relationship is for you or not. And they also told them that it's best to do this now versus having 2 or 3 kids wrapped into the equation. Then they turned and asked Jake how was he feeling, and Jake said, look, I didn't give the ultimatum. I was given the ultimatum, okay? But I am really enjoying my time with Ray, and I would love to see where this goes. Jake also said that with Ray, she makes him feel very comfortable, and he can talk to her and she actually listens, unlike April, where she's the one that's normally talking, and he felt as though at one point that he was actually talking too much. She was saying that he wasn't. So he said he really does love his connection that he has with Ray, and he can't wait to see where it goes, and hopefully it'll bring him to become a better person for his partner. And then Nick and Vanessa asked Jake, who does he choose to go home with, as if he had any other option. But he says that he wants to go home with Ray because she makes him feel so comfortable and he can really see a future with her. And Zay looked a little bit uncomfortable over there, but he brushed it off a little bit. And April, you know what? Just take it all in. Take it all in. It really sucks to see that the person that I came with is going home with someone else, but take it all in because he was there for me throughout all the bullshit that I've been through. And I'm like, April, girl, turn it down. Down some more. Down some more. So then Nick and Vanessa asked Madeline, who does she choose? And she said that she chose Randall, of course. And she gets up there and she shoots us some bullshit about her feeling validated and heard whenever she's around Randall, and she can definitely see a future with him. But when she had got up to say who she chose, Shanique already knew it. She was looking at her like, bitch. Like she wanted to really just run up there and beat Madeline ass. Randall has this like little smirk on his face because then they move on to him and asks him, who does he choose? He said that he chooses Madeline. So Randall says that he thinks Madeline will be an amazing wife, and that he believes that Madeline will push him to be a better person, and that he's different with Madeline and he can open up to Madeline, and just gave us a whole bunch of bullshit because he just really want to see what the box is like. Child, they had to go over there and check on Nate because Nate was over there in his seat fidgeting, y'all. Nate lets them know that everything about Lauren is perfect. The only thing that they don't see eye to eye on, and that is preventing them from moving forward, is the fact that he wants kids and she doesn't. And the only other person that he can see himself spending the next 3 weeks with is April, because she wants marriage, she wants kids, she wants everything that he wants, and they have quite a bit in common. But April, on the other hand, is over here talking about, yes, we did have a good connection, but I want Hunter. And Nate is in his confessionals like, at this point, bitch, I don't know, because, like, is it me? Like, what's going on? Like, what's really tea? So then they ask Alexis, how is she feeling? And Alexis says, look, I'll be sitting here lying if I said that none of this shit bothers me, because it bothers me. I don't like it not one bit. Get your hands off my damn man. And I brought Hunter here to give him an ultimatum. I didn't bring him here to see him date anybody else. I didn't bring him here for him to go off and start living with somebody else for 3 weeks. I brought him here because I want to marry him, not see him go run off with somebody else. And I'm like, this is why I like Alexis. Alexis is going to be her regardless of who the fuck is around. So then they look over at Hunter and they ask Hunter, like, what's going on in your head right now? And he gets up and this man says, you guys, I want to marry Alexis. And I'm like, what the fuck, Hunter, this is only episode 2. Like, why are we on here? Like, why are we here? Why are we here, Hunter? Like, you've been through this. This is the 2nd episode. You mean to tell me after 1 week of going on these dates with all these different women, you mean to tell me that now you know that you want to marry Alexis? You knew that before walking in. I am salty with Hunter, okay? So I can't wait to watch the next episode, which I am going to turn on right now, because I want to know if they are going to go home after this and try to elope, or if they're going to stay on this show and then spend the next 3 weeks with either each other. Are they even allowed to spend the next 3 weeks with one another? Or will they be spending the next 3 weeks with somebody else? But anyway, y'all, drop y'all comments down below and let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.